Children, today we will start with chapter 3, that is basic HTML elements. This is a third chapter for class 10th. Children, in this session we are going to discuss about HTML. What is HTML? Why there was a need to design HTML? Who has designed? Then we will learn about history of HTML. And when we talk about history of HTML, definitely we will also discuss about my favorite iconic hero that you all know is Sir Tim BernersLee. I will tell you something more interesting facts about him in this session. So let us start this session. Here we will first learn about HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. But here we have to understand that this is a markup language. So whenever we use the term markup language, you have to understand that it is for designing, for creating your web pages. It is not a programming language like what you have done in class 8 with Visual Basics or in 9 Python. Yes, those were the programming languages. This is your markup language. It is used to design a web page, used to make your web page look more attractive by using so many tags and interacting it with images, audios and videos. Some of you may ask me that, ma'am, when we have to make it attractive, can't we make it with MS Word? Very good. This is a nice question if it has come in your mind. But what we do when we talk about MS Word, what do you do? What you have done in your computer lab? You have created documents. These web pages are also giving you information. But where do you get this information? On internet. Yes or no? Via internet, when you access through your browsers, when you open your Google Chrome, then you get some information. Have you understood now the difference between these application software and a markup language? Markup language is purposely used to design a web page. Have you understood that Word file was a document? And this is a web page. That means you can type, create, design, and add images, pictures, table, and interlink the pages also. But it will be only presented on internet. Got it? Now, when we talk about hypertext, see children, here it is made up of 4 words: hyper, text, markup, language. I will tell you the meaning of all 4. Text, you understand that it is a collection of letters. Yes, even when you write down few more words, that is also your text. In computer we say like that. Otherwise in English you will say letters, words, sentences, phrases are all different. Here if I ask you quickly write down something or type the text for me. When I say type the text, that means you are going to create some document. This is another way to say. So text, is something which is related to your information with words, letters, sentences. But when we talk about hypertext, hypertext is not the routine text or the normal text or the normal text. See here, you can see on the screen something is written. Read. It refers to the way in which the web pages are interlinked together. If you click this text, it will visit the referred page, web pages through it. So yeah, these things, now I will bring my mouse and see I am clicking on this. I am clicking. Nothing is happening. I am clicking here also, but nothing is happening. Why? Because this is my normal text. Now, if you open any web page and on the web page, you will see some fonts, some words, some text underlined with blue line. And when you bring the mouse pointer near to that, that pointer will get changed to hand pointer. That means that is a hypertext. When you click on that, immediately it will make you visit the related interlinked web page. Is it clear? This is the meaning of hypertext. Now markup. Markup means which consists of some tags with which you will design. You want to create a project, what do? You take your botany sheets. Yes. Then after writing the text, you try to decorate it with your stationery, color pencils, yes, highlighters, and many things you do. So what are those? Those are the extra accessories for your project which makes it look more attractive. So here, and these are the basic tags. Can you do without your stationery anything? No, you cannot do. Same thing, we need tags and elements to construct, to create the structure. So that is the markup. Read here. These are the tags which make the text more interactive and dynamic. And it helps in applying layout and formatting conventions to text on the web page. This I told you. We use it to make the web page look more attractive, more meaningful, more beautiful. Okay. Now why I am saying meaningful? Because with the formatting tags, suppose you want to create a document and where you want to show your records of last 5 years. So what will you do? You need that time to create a table. So we have tags to create table also. So it will be in a organized manner. So whichever way you want to think and design, it allows you to create your web pages. Language, you know children, it is a way to communicate with each other. How are you communicating with me? How am I communicating with you? Through words, through lectures, yes. And when you have some doubt, as you cannot communicate to me directly through conversation, so what do? You type the text, ma'am, we got the video. Yes or no? You respond us so well. You are our energy, I'm telling you. This is the first time we are also trying with online classes. Otherwise, we were very comfortable from so many years of teaching with manual classes, looking at the children, taking their response, and then looking at your face. We used to understand whether you are able to understand or not, and so on. So, what was that? That was also a type of language. Even if you never said, "Ma'am, we are tired," and if suppose your maths period falls in the last period, but we could understand. Same way for creating web pages. I told you it is used to design a web page. Now you want to access this web page. So that is the fact that if you want to access any web page, what do? Will you open MS Word and write down www.topperlearning.com? What will happen if you type .com and press enter? The cursor will be waiting for you in the next line to type. But what were you expecting? You were expecting to visit a web page. So what should be done? You have to open any web browser. So we are creating the web pages using any text editor. And when you want to open or access the web pages or these text editors where you design the web page, we use some codes, we use some syntax, yes or no, to design the web page. Now once you design it, you are using text editor. Just understand children, the important point here. We are creating HTML documents using any editor. That is Notepad, WordPad, then we have many other text editors also. Correct. So these Notepad, WordPad are the places where we are designing. But do you see your web page as a notepad? No. So interesting it is that you have written on notepad, but when you see, you visit the browser and see your web page. So somebody is communicating with the source code and changing it to the web page. That is the protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. Understood? That is the protocol. The protocol is responsible for converting the plain text what you have designed or created using codes and syntax. This get converted to a web page. Who is doing? Protocol is doing. And what is it? It is through the markup language. Is it clear? That is why it is the communication. These tags will say, take for example, you have written underline and written the text, hi, hello, how are you? So what you have taken within the tag, underline. So HTTP protocol will understand the language that is within the angular bracket that you will make the protocol understand that here you have to underline the text. So when it will be located on the web browser, that page you will see that hi, hello, how are you? This line will be underlined. Have you understood? So it is a medium to communicate with the protocol. So you are able to understand. Now here comes the man who is behind all the important inventions and contributed a lot in the field of computer. Children, we are talking about Tim Berners-Lee. We have already discussed before that he has invented World Wide Web. Later, after this invention, he became the chairperson of World Wide Web Consortium. Children, he was born in London and after graduation, he was working in many different organizations at different positions. But it was only after when he was appointed as an individual contractor at CERN's in Switzerland. CERN, CERN. It is a famous research center and for his great contribution that he has given, that is for the world wide web and introduction of internet was possible only because of him. He is the father of internet. Today if I am able to communicate to you, or suppose you want to take any information, you want to know something, what do? We all have become, dependent so much on technology. This communication technology is possible because of the great efforts which were made by Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Children in that research center, he had developed the HTML language in 1990, but that was unofficial. But children, that even his parents were genius. They both were working for the project that had launched commercially the first computer. Just imagine, his parents were a part of that team which had worked and introduced the Mark I computer. So definitely we can understand he has to be one of those, having born and brought up with X factor. And for all his great achievements and contribution, Queen Elizabeth II, she titled Tim Berners-Lee with Sir and also titled him with the knighthood. He was awarded with $1 million of cash prize. That was by some foundation. Now, we will learn about the HTML's advantages. When I am explaining you HTML, definitely the first thing which you will also now agree with me is it is very easy to learn and design. You have learned this language in class 7th also and continued till 8th. Yes or no? So first basic characteristic of HTML is it is very user friendly. It is very easy to design and modify. Also children, it is platform independent. When we say platform independent, it means that it is able to work or you can design it using any device, whether it is old or new. It is compatible with all the types of hardware and software, and you don't have to pay and get some special licensed software for this. That is why it is free of cost, because you only need text editor where you will write the source code, and you need a web browser where you will see this displayed on a web page. It is a great tool to develop your web applications. The list is long to know about the advantages or characteristics or capabilities of HTML. As time will come by, and if it is needed further, I will add to your knowledge. Now, history of HTML. Already I have told you that Sir Tim Berners-Lee, he published HTML in the year 1990, but that was unofficial. One more thing, children, please take note that he was inspired by generalized markup language. Let me give you one small example to understand. Suppose I ask you that please go and get 1 meter of ribbon, and tomorrow you bring, we will do some craft work in class. So when you will see all of them, all the children in the class, the size, the length of the ribbon will remain the same. Maybe color is different or the design is there. That is a different part. But I asked you to bring 1 meter of ribbon. This is the length which I asked you. And the length remains the same for all the children. And the same thing if I ask you that children, tomorrow you all bring 5 handspan of ribbon for me. Now if you measure with your handspan, the measure will not be the same for all the children. You will see there will be a difference in the length of the ribbon. Correct? This is what is generalized markup language. From this we will understand that they had no strict rules. It was not a standard markup language. And after Sir Tim Berners-Lee had invented, or you can say published, his first HTML 1.0, that time it was unofficially released. I will tell you the reason. This was the problem, that it was inspired by some generalized markup language, but it did not had any standards. So the first version what he has officially published, and the second also 2.0, it was completely done by Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Later on, a team was made, a panel was there. Many great scientists, research people, and experts were there in the team. Those who gave their opinion and made a organization which was called as Standard Generalized Markup Language. And a team was formed. They had set the rules. What should be the way, if it is a tag, how should it be, and all these things were then made. Have you understood? Take one more example of your English grammar. When we talk about noun, it is the grammar, the English grammar or Hindi grammar. It is worldwide accepted. Noun, what we say here is same what people will, learn in other abroad countries. This is what made a difference. Once we had the standard generalized markup language, then it was divided again into two sections. Then they said, now we will work for two types of things. One, where we can create web pages which will be static in nature, and one, they thought of making web pages using XML, that is extensible markup language. That was a challenge because here it was not static in nature, it was dynamic. Now, what do you mean by static and dynamic? Children, static means, suppose you design a web page. This you have done in class 7th also. Recall those moments in the computer lab when you have designed these web pages. And the next time when you have opened, it looks the same. Now take example of any news app on your device. Today you open, you will get the current news. Tomorrow if you open, the data, that current news has got changed with another, is got replaced. Or today itself in morning you saw one news, and by evening you will see there will be a list of news in chronological order. That is, the look and feel of that app is same. That is designed by HTML. But the data is getting changed. We can define the data on that web page. We can change the data. Have you understood? This is the basic difference between HTML and XML. Then the story of HTML I have discussed with you. This you will understand more with the help of, see, this list I have made. In 1991, HTML 1.0 was released, and then in 1992 and 1992, HTML 2.0 was advised, and later on, with see after this, after 1995, you will not see anywhere only Sir Tim Berners-Lee's name is mentioned, because after the first publication and the second also, here it is given HTML 2.0, but you will see HTML plus in 1993 was advised, but that was by the people who were working with him. He was not alone. Then this is what I was discussing with you. In SGML, we have two things. We work with your creation of web pages, how the content of the web page should be, look and feel of the web page, and that is a web designing challenges. And here it is data representation challenges in XML. Now, all this tabular thing, what you can see here, we will discuss in the advanced session. Once we know what is HTML, who has designed, why do we need it, now let us quickly understand that if you want to design a web page document, what should you have? You should have only two things. There are basically two requirements. That is, first you should have any text editor in your device, and the second is web browser. Any web browser will do. Even if you have old browsers like Explorer, that will also do. And if you have latest your Firefox, Chrome, that will also help you. Any web browser will help you in visiting the web page what you have designed or you have written. So where do you write that? You write it using any text editor. And there is a structure. You cannot write your source code in any form. There is a strict structure which we have to follow. So HTML has two parts. Just like on a web page, children, when you open any web page, what do you see? On the title bar, you see the name of the web page, correct? And in the rest of the section of the web page, you will see the information what for what you have accessed that page. So here also, when we create and design any web page, we need two things. First is we will design the head part, which is responsible for explaining us or the or it helps the users to mention the name of the web page. Then we have body section, where whatever you want to design, whatever idea you have, how the web page should look, what information you want to add, you want to add images, pictures, graphics, you want to interlink, the rest other thing will be done in the body section. When you write down the source code, it will always start with on code of HTML tag. This, children, which is written within the angular bracket, is a tag. Tags are responsible because it helps the protocol to understand what the user is expecting, and it will be converted the same way. After writing down the source code, you have to save the file with the extension .html. This is the most mandatory and important information what we have to keep it in our mind. You waste time in designing, but if you have not saved it with the extension .html, the file will not become your HTML document. And when the protocol will see that .html, it will understand that this document needs to be converted to a web page. So here we end our session. In the next session, we will do the practical of HTML and learn how we design the HTML web page.